Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another discussion topic video. People wanted to hear my thoughts on this one after the rumor that hit a little while back, about a week ago, about the possibility of Andrew Lincoln wanting off the show, off The Walking Dead, and being killed off. I'm going to be giving my thoughts in this one on when I think eventually he actually will be killed off, if it is to happen. Right, so this will be kind of like a Q&A type video. So this is one that a few people asked me about. And, I wanted to go ahead and do it because I think it's an interesting one. It's something we've talked about in the past before, but that was like, a while ago. And, we haven't kind of touched on it in a while. Now, this is one that affects both the comic book series and the TV series, with more emphasis on the comic book series right now. Sort of spoiler warning, I won't get into any particulars to say too much anyway. But I feel like at this time in the Walking Dead comic book series, I almost feel like we're starting to see what could be, maybe not the death right away of Rick Grimes, but we're kind of starting to see him wear down over time. We're seeing him recently got in a fight with Maggie. And, his body is not holding up great in the comic book series. He's missing a hand. One of his legs he's got a bum leg. He's got to use a cane, this kind of thing. Yeah, we get the sense he can't really run. He can kind of fight, but, he's still tough because it's Rick. It's Rick, right? But, it just seems like he's getting worn down. And not just physically, but also mentally, too. With regards to the Whisperers versus some of the previous, battles they've been in with the governor and with Negan, he seemed a lot more earlier on in the series to be more kind of not into it, but ready to go and willing to protect everybody, and not as worn down. He seems to me right now, like in the comic book series, he's starting to get really worn down over time with all the shit that's been happening. And even after they have some peace for a couple years or a period of time, some other crazy shit happens and they may have to go to war again. From what we've seen so far in the comic book series, it seems like he does not want to do that. Now, he's basically losing his support, and people who, of course, he's the leader of Alexandria, and basically the whole joint communities. He's the leader of the whole thing, really, at this point in the comic book series. And a lot of them are turning against him, kind of turning on him, and it seems like we could even possibly see them try to maybe overthrow him or do something like that. We're going to have to wait and see, but it seems like he's kind of making enemies out of the people that he has been kind of elected to serve or to protect, be the leader of. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see where Kirkman's going to go with this over the long term. But I do feel like we're starting to kind of get closer there to the end of Rick's run in the Walking Dead comic book series. Like, eventually we will get there. How long is it going to take? Well, each year they can only do a few trades, like maybe three trades each year. And then the Walking Dead television series covers about 3 trades as well, too, with all the add-in stuff they do for the TV series. So I tend to think that probably with this one, it might be another 5 years or something like that until we see it, if he is to be killed off in the comic book series. But I do feel like we are getting closer there. If Kirkman does it sooner, if he kills him off within the next couple of years, let's say, at the end of the Whisperers All-Out-War story, and creates some kind of almost like a Game of Thrones type thing. What if the characters in his part overthrow him, kill him or something, and then you have somebody else take charge, and then you have Carl out there. It could work out really nicely to create a chaotic situation in the Walking Dead community groups. So what I'm saying is we're getting there. I think we're getting closer to the point now where we're starting to see that. Whereas a few years ago when I was doing videos on that, it wasn't really there. But I feel like at this time, Rick is really starting to lose his kind of tenacity to want to keep fighting all the time in the comic book series. So I'm thinking down the road, maybe 5 years from now, 4 years from now, 3 years from now, we may see him be killed off. But that depends on Kirkman's plans and whether or not he wants to kind of keep him around. He's kept Negan around, and it's worked out really nicely, even though he's not core and center to the battles and to the groups and what's going on. So we could see Rick kind of fade into the background at some point too, of old age or something, because he already kind of needs to because of his physical body, of course, right? So, and more time, has kind of shifted towards Carl versus Rick as the main protagonist. We're starting to see Carl a lot more at the forefront, and his point of view is a point of view character. So those are my thoughts on the comic book series. And to answer the initial question, yes, I do think eventually he will be killed off at some point. I don't think the series The Walking Dead is going to end with Rick still being alive. I don't think so. I think the series is going to go on long enough that we will eventually see Rick be killed off, and we will see other characters such as Carl and other characters kind of take over. as the main crew. So I do think we will see it eventually. Now, the TV series is an entirely different animal because with that, we don't know how many seasons it's going to last. We're going into season 6. We're hearing rumors about Andrew Lincoln possibly wanting off. They've been totally denied. Pretty much every source online has said, okay, they're denied. His rep says no, not a true rumor, maybe no truth to it whatsoever. But what if the situation does happen, which we've kind of talked about a little bit too, and when would it happen? Is 6 seasons in right now? In another 10 years, if we get to season 15 or 16 or something like that, is Andrew Lincoln still going to want to do it? And, that'll be 10 years from now. That'll be a long, long time. So Chandler Riggs will be in his 20s, that kind of thing, maybe like 25 or something. It would make a lot of sense, around that kind of time range to possibly kill Rick off, or sooner, maybe even sooner. What do you guys think about that? Write in the comments below what you think. Could you see Andrew Lincoln still doing the show 10 years from now? What do you think about that? Do you think he'll still be doing it at that point? Man, that's a good question, and I think we'll have to see with that one. So many unknowns with the TV series, different from the comic books. Probably will be killed off sooner in the TV series than the comic book series in terms of the order of the show. Meaning, the comic book series he may be killed off sooner, but in terms of like when the show catches up to it, they'll probably do it sooner than where they would in the storyline, if you know what I'm saying. Not in terms of real time in the real world, but time for releases, but in terms of like where it is in the story, I think the TV series, it may happen, earlier on in the story than the comic book series it does. So those are kind of my long-term kind of death predictions on what I think will happen with Rick. I do think eventually he'll be killed off in the comic book series. TV series, we'll have to see how long it lasts. If the show eventually gets canceled or they decide they've had enough, they've done enough of it and it ends, it's possible he could survive to the end and then they just end the show or something without kind of capping it off. But if it goes on long enough, 15, 16 seasons, I think we will see the death of Rick at some point. So I'll just call that as a video by itself. That way, going to get some Q&A stuff probably tomorrow or the next day after Fear the Walking Dead tonight, of course. Enjoy the episode, guys. Not that many left, man. We're getting closer and closer to season 6. I'm really excited for it. I just can't wait to see it, and I know you guys are too. So lots of fun for that. Check back for the review tonight, as usual, guys, and let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the long-term story of The Walking Dead and where you see Rick in terms of how long you think he's going to survive, or do you think he'll survive all the way through, and maybe when he dies, the story will end? Let me know what you guys think. Write your comments below, and if you like this video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share, please favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, if you like zombies, go ahead and subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you again tonight. So this is Trev, saying peace.